Hey viewers and friends, Andrew back again and welcome to another slasher review, and today I'm going to be reviewing Camp Slaughter, which is a fairly recent and modern slasher from the mid-2000s. Now this actually got recommended to me from Mood616, and once again mate, thank you so much, because this movie is friggin' awesome. So the storyline behind this one is it starts off with the four main characters of the movie. Essentially they're going on a road trip and they get lost, or the car breaks down, and they come across these bunch of campers. Their car, they've been stopped and they're near a summer camp called Camp Hiawatha, I think it's called. I think that's how you pronounce it. And unbeknownst to them, the camp has actually had a curse put on it for the past 20 odd years, and it's trapped in the 80s. I think the exact day is August 25th, 1981. So when the four modern day, well, they're not really teenagers, sort of young adults, when they come across these group of campers, they're kind of weirded out by them, because obviously they talk like they did back in the 80s, and they certainly dress like they did back in the 80s. So the modern day group are kind of a little bit weirded out, and once they arrive at the camp and they start witnessing the bizarre behaviour and most certainly the killings and murders, they begin to realise something is terribly wrong. They soon realise that they are trapped back in the 80s, 1981, and they soon find out that it is up to them to finally break the curse and free these campers from reliving the same day over and over. So that is pretty much essentially the storyline, and I thought it was a great storyline, something fairly different, and it worked really well. Going into this movie, I wasn't really too sure what to expect. Apart from Mood616 and now myself, I haven't heard anyone ever mention this movie before. So yeah, I wasn't too sure, but I came away 100% satisfied. And to basically sum this movie up, if you're a fan of 80s retro slashers, this movie is for you. It's pretty much a fan service, a love letter to slasher fans, and it pretty much has everything that I love about the genre thrown into this one movie, and it all works really well. I loved the 80s setting. I thought it was a neat idea. The characters, they're pretty cheesy, pretty corny. In fact, the whole movie is kind of cheesy. It's not really a slasher to take seriously. I wouldn't say it's a comedy. There's a few sort of funny moments thrown in, but everything just works really well. So I enjoyed all the characters, great variety on the characters, and there's quite a few characters that get a lot of screen time during the movie. So you're not just sort of focusing on a small group of the same characters. There's a whole range of characters in this one. So, and they were all pretty cool. I enjoyed them all. The 80s vibe I thought was pretty good, especially a lot of the dialogue and most certainly the clothing. I was kind of wishing they had done a little bit more with the music. You know, that was probably the downfall for me with this movie. You know, I wish there'd been some 80s music thrown throughout the movie, but yeah, that is my only complaint, so not too bad. The kills, I was friggin' impressed with them, and there was a very high body count. There was one particular scene where a whole group of campers got killed off like in very quick succession. That was awesome. And you know, the deaths were well spread out, and as I said, a pretty high body count, and all the kills were different. There was some great variety. I wouldn't say the kills were anything new. I'd sort of seen them all before, and they weren't the best looking kills when it comes to a slasher movie. You know, they were pretty cheesy, but they certainly suited the overall feel this movie was going for. So that has been pretty much my review for this film, and all I've got to say is this one gets my highest recommendation, especially to all you 80s retro slasher lovers out there. This movie is definitely well worth checking out. You know, I was pleasantly surprised. I loved it. Easily one of my favourite modern slashers, and it will be certainly getting a lot of repeated viewings from myself. So definitely recommend it. For an overall score, I'm going to give Camp Slaughter a 3.5 out of 5. So please guys, check this one out. It's well worth owning. And yeah, that's been my review. So I hope you've all enjoyed it, and thanks a lot for watching.